What is up, everybody? Good morning and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Marvel Rivals. Today we are of course going to be taking a look at one of the newest characters that they've added into Marvel Rivals, and that will be the Thing, played by none other than TeamCaptain. So let's just hit the play on the replay button and let's see what people are doing with this character on day one. I haven't really looked a whole lot into this character actually, so this will be a little bit new for me as well, but I am just a little bit curious about how we're going to position this guy, if he's going to be a little bit more of a Hulk play style, if he's going to kind of fit more of that blocking Strange profile, since Strange did get nerfed. And TeamCaptain is an incredible player, so definitely check out the YouTube channel there as well and see what's going on. So I think this does have, I think this is what streamer mode is. I don't know what is going on here with these, but immediately going in here and just kind of getting on high ground, trying to disrupt the enemy backline, getting some good follow-up damage on that Doctor Strange shield. And he does seem like he has some good in and out potential as well on this character, so being a Wolverine player, TeamCaptain should be kind of chilling on this character. And he does leap back to his backlines too there, so that's nice to see. Using a lot of this charge up punch. I'm not sure what the damage profile on those is. I should definitely go into practice tool and just see that. The spinning in circles there is a little bit goofy, but as long as you're doing damage, I guess that works. He does also feel like he goes down pretty easily. His health is kind of rubber banding a lot. I don't know if he's just getting fried by... I think he's just getting fried by Torch here, but... And there we go. We do get the ultimate. And he does take out Human Torch there, which was kind of unexpected. And the enemy Doctor Strange does seem like he ults there, but not able to get anything. And Thing is going to be unstoppable in a lot of these different situations. So it'll be interesting to see if he gets kind of disrupted. Not quite able to get back to his healers here. Luckily, he's able to get on the other side of the Doctor Strange shield and take it from there. And he does also charge his ult incredibly quickly. He just kind of runs through that Namor ult, takes a huge chunk of damage, but not going to get knocked over because he is unstoppable in that animation, which is very cool. He does feel like he gets a lot of ult charge very quickly. I thought I just saw him get like 5% off of one of those charge up smashes, so they might have tuned him for that, because his ult doesn't seem like it's going to be a 1v5 sort of tool. But we are just charging up those right clicks, and then we're using the charge to get back in here. And it does seem like he's playing a little bit more in and out, trying to be the bridge between the rest of his team and the front line of the enemy team. We get some good follow-up damage on the Namor there. Unfortunately, can't turn his little charge into the around that little barricade. And I think it is definitely interesting that he falls in that little archetype between the Doctor Strange standing on that front line and the Hulk having the ability to go in and quickly get out of fights. But again, he doesn't feel super durable. I mean, he has 700 health, but it feels like he's taking a ton of damage. I guess it is also because of the Namor, the Moon Knight, and the Torch. I mean, they have an incredible amount of damage on the enemy team, but we'll see what's going on. Not playing a whole lot of flanks here, but upon seeing the enemies on the flanks, I guess he kind of just goes over and deals with that. They also do have a few ults coming up here, so all of their support ults available. And they get that little fire tornado from Torch there. Diving into the front line, just using these right clicks, and let's see how much ult charge these do give. And maybe it's only a couple percent. Definitely wasn't 5% like I mentioned earlier, but pretty much just spamming that charge up punch, going right in. Has some good follow-up damage from this Iron Fist here. Just absolutely clonking the enemy here. Namor ult, Luna ult is traded for all three of his support ults. And we've once again farmed ult on Thing over here, so doesn't seem like it's going to do a whole lot, but it's a good amount of follow-up damage. Can take people pretty low if your team has some good follow-up damage. It looks like they're going to be able to capitalize on that. Getting a nice knock-up on the Cloak and Dagger there. And his team is just going to kind of run down the enemy I have been meaning to spectate this same guy on Iron Fist as well, Tanuki up there. Does seem like he's a pretty good Iron Fist player. So hopefully some more Iron Fist spectating will be coming over soon. And he's playing some crazy space here. A lot of his damage does end up going into Doctor Strange in this game too. So as far as target selection, I think that's kind of what we're looking at. And the range on his charge up smash does go further than I kind of expected it to as well. He's able to hit from a moderate range, I would say. And then gets a little bit of a charge back to his team, making sure that he can get topped up. But he really does just take so much damage. I don't know. I mean, if he's not getting constantly healed, he's just going to get fried. And he gets a little bit of a shield, but... And this will be, what, his 4th ult of the game? I mean, this is a very, very quick way to charge ult. And as you can see, he's just getting absolutely bodied, so get back to his team, make sure he can get up to full health. But not going to be able to do a whole lot here until the rest of his team fully respawns. Making sure he has a ton of healing on him before he even thinks about going in. And they do lose their Luna there, which is a little bit unfortunate. So as he's going to charge in there will be a person down. Moon Knight's going to take another one out and another one after that. His team just kind of loses that fight before it even begins. So a little bit weird. I think this game could have also been a very, very different story if he had another tank beside him. If he had like a Magneto or a Doctor Strange as well, he wouldn't be getting quite as much of the pressure. And I know Hulk can really pop off if he's the secondary tank too. Gets a little bit more freedom to do whatever he wants. And yeah, they do just kind of DPS him down. He gets that nice ult knock up. And he does charge it again 40%. So his ult charge is again very, very quick. But that ult not being as impactful as something like a Doctor Strange ult. Trying to get some follow-up damage on the Storm. They might not be able to kill her, but they at least put some reverse pressure on her. And then Doctor Strange getting a nice ult, but Luna is able to defuse that. Charging on in. I'm not sure why he isn't canceling that charge earlier too. I think he's trying to get some more knockups and do a little bit more damage with it, but it kind of just seems like it's... Once you kind of miss, going and running around in circles isn't really doing it, but... I don't know. If you want to see someone play Wolverine too, I'd expect this guy's going to play Thing a lot more, but if you want to see this guy play Wolverine, he's a very, very good Wolverine player, so if you want to go kind of see what he does on that character, go ahead and check that out. I'll put his YouTube in the description below, as well as the replay ID as usual, so feel free to go check him out as well. It is kind of satisfying just watching him just charge up and bonk people. There we go, it's a nice knock up on the Cloak and Dagger. Iron Fist is able to take her out, and that's, I think, where the Thing is going to really, really excel. Using that ultimate to set people up, knock them up a little bit, and then have someone else knock them down. I'd be interested to see how much damage it does with a rocket damage boost as well. Like if that's going to do like something like 75% of someone's health. Playing a nice corner kind of line of sight here. Getting some nice bonks on the enemy team as they step forward. And then they go into overtime here. And Doctor Strange is going to fall, but Storm's going to be on point. Moving to knock up the Moon Knight, taking him out quickly. And luckily his Luna is able to... The Loki Luna is able to kind of diffuse that pressure. They're able to take out 4. And we're just going to keep bonking and bonking and bonking. There we go. We finally take out the Luna. Doctor Strange not able to get back to the point. And we'll get that first round victory 3-0. So, bit of a goofy round, kind of a goofy character. But maybe that's kind of on brand. Just charging up that other punch over and over and over again, getting that nice little bell sound. And they did look like they were gonna... They did put up a little bit of a fight there. So, but he didn't hear no bell, even though we keep hearing a bell. There we go. Just bonking and using that charge to get back to safety, playing some good line of sight. As he was taking a ton of damage the first round, I wonder if he'll be a little bit more careful this round. And there we are, just making sure that he's playing a little bit more line of sight, especially on defense, making sure that he doesn't get taken out. He has his left shift available. Still standing on this point, trying to make sure the enemy doesn't get a whole lot of distance on that. Getting a good charge in, getting a couple knockups. But his health is just... I can't get over how much his health is rubber banding. There's not a whole lot of survivability here. His unstoppability does seem like it could be something that people will get really, really good at later in the season, where people have had a chance to play with this character. And keep in mind, this is a day one spectating video, so I'm not, expecting anyone to be perfect on this character, know exactly what they're doing, or play this guy in some crazy way. I think it's just cool to kind of get that out there and let people know. That Namor absolutely pops off there. He gets a 5-piece overall, and the Iron Fist cleans up one more. And let me know in the comments if there's any specific people that you've seen as the season goes on that you want to see me spectate, as usual, but also especially with Human Torch and the Thing. I'd be happy to look at some new people, or if there's some people that you've seen on YouTube, people that you like watching. I definitely want to see some more interesting content creators too. That sort of thing is really interesting to me. See what different people like to watch. I'm more of a Tim the Tatman, nade shot sort of kind of guy, but we'll see. He ults here, and it doesn't seem like it does a whole lot because Luna and Namor both pop their ults. They're quickly taken out. And they are going to give up this first point pretty handily. And again, I do think that this character would benefit off of that second tank, just so that not all the pressure is on him. His healers are absolutely pumping, I would imagine. Let's check the scoreboard real quick, actually. And yeah, I mean, he's taken a ridiculous amount of damage. Doctor Strange taking just under the same amount, but Doctor Strange does have that shield. So, and he does have 3 healers, and they are all absolutely blasting compared to the enemy healers too. The enemy team having 2 healers. So, numbers aren't everything, but that's an interesting thing to note, that he is just taking a ton of damage. Not a lot of that is in the shield. That is all his body. Getting some nice damage on this Luna. Using little 3-piece combo there. And Storm does get a delayed ult on point, but I think he's able to get back here, and he's going to be able to stop that push, whatever. And that's the first time I've seen him use the 1-2. Just about 3 minutes on the clock here. Waiting for the enemy team. Playing, again, some good line of sight here. Mostly focusing on that Doctor Strange unless he gets a nice knock-up in the back line. Using the charge to get back to his team. And his healers are absolutely putting in work this game. They're doing a great job of keeping him up. And we do see the Luna ult come out from the ally Luna. Goes unstoppable, so he's not going to be able to be stopped by that Doctor Strange. Ends up getting an ult. The follow-up damage lands on that Moon Knight, so very, very good little push there. Very good use of his unstoppability, making sure that he doesn't get CC'd by Doctor Strange. They do lose a couple members of his team, but able to get the 5-piece there. 4-piece, 5-piece. I didn't actually see how many people died, but looked like most of the enemy team died there. And the enemy Moon Knight looking like he switches to Hawkeye here. Not sure if that's the vibe, because they are putting him in the dirt right now. They're doing so much damage to this this thing over here. And then Storm ult, Cloak and Dagger ult coming in hot. Mantis may be going to be able to keep their whole team alive. And she actually does succeed in keeping everyone alive, so we commit Rocket ult and Iron Fist ult. Getting some good follow-up damage, some good CC coming in from the Thing. Iron Fist not going to be able to take anyone out. And there we go. Getting the Hawkeye a little bit low, still getting the whole knock-up on the enemy team, and then finishing everyone off with those right clicks. Very good fight. Let's just rewind and kind of see how that panned out again. Because this does look like a very losable situation. That sort of thing. So we do see the Iron Fist pop his ult here in a second. So yeah, the Storm ults. Oh, this was a little bit too far back. Didn't mean to go this far back, but they survive the Storm ult, and they survive all that little bit of pressure with the Cloak and Dagger and the Storm, and then they suddenly kind of turn the tables. Iron Fist pops ult. And the enemy Luna is currently ulted right now, so I think he's kind of waiting, charging up his ult. Commits the ult, and Luna kind of steps away from her team during that last little tick. which I think she maybe could have kept them alive for a second or two longer, but that was some good follow-up damage. Very, very good timing. Get some good follow-up on that back line. And the stun looks like it doesn't just knock up, and it stuns for a little bit longer than I thought it initially did. So, going to be interesting to see how people combo that with other abilities, because if you're just stunned afterwards, that's going to be pretty devastating. He's going to get absolutely hammered by the Hawkeye here, taking some big burst damage. Luckily able to get back to his team, and his healers are going to be able to keep him up. And again, doing a lot more frontline damage, not going too heavy on the flanks, not diving too far in. Does need to rely on his healers quite a bit for a lot of the pressure that he's able to get. Really just farming that ultimate because it does kind of help him out a ton. Ends up getting taken out by that Namor ult though. Hawkeye going absolutely massive with that ultimate being popped. But they might still be able to defend this second point. Just about 40 seconds on the clock. So if they win one more clean fight, they should be in good shape. He has successfully farmed back ult again almost. And there we go, the Doctor Strange portals, the classic. And there we go. I think we're just going to try and farm ult. It's nice that he can also farm ult through Doctor Strange shield, but again, he's taking a ton of damage here. Needs to be very, very careful. He doesn't have any kind of shield or blocking mechanic or anything like that. And right there, it just took about 600 damage. That's a little bit crazy. So I think right here, they've already lost the point, so at this point, they're just kind of waiting for their fight. They already lose Namor, so they're just going to back up, try and get a nice 6v6. He's getting some good poke, get some good cleave with that charge up smack again, but Doctor Strange seals him off from his healers, so. And without heals, yeah, he definitely seems like he just tips over. Needs a good pocket or something. Keep the snowflake on this guy at all times or something like that. I don't know. Definitely going to be an interesting character. Interesting to see what people do, you know, in the coming weeks, to see what they do with this character. But I'm also really excited to see what people do on Torch. I think he's going to be a really cool combination with Storm. Lots of flyers and a lot of teams going to be in the market for some good hit scan players. So if you play some Hela, if you play some Punisher, you're definitely going to be sitting pretty this season, because there's going to be a lot of flyers up there. Commits the ult. Luna going to diffuse that pressure pretty easily. Hawkeye, Namor, both ult to counter. And then we do see the Doctor Strange ult coming out again. He's not able to go invulnerable or unstoppable during that time. So going to get quickly taken out. And just about 20 seconds on the clock. All they need to do is ace the enemy team one more time. And we did just use ult at the beginning of that fight, but we're already back to 71%. Which does feel appropriate given that it's not, oh my good lord, he just gets absolutely fried there. Alright, we're going to go into a third round. I didn't think that he would get absolutely bodied like that, but hey, that's what happens with Hawkeye. This Hawkeye does hit some shots, so. Here we go, going into the third round here. Coming right out the gate, looking to take some high ground over on this right-hand side. Going to take some damage from those Namor squids. Nothing he can really do about those. And then jumping over to the Iron Fist. I would probably have tried to knock the enemy up and away off of that high ground there, but I think he was a little bit worried that he might just get ran down and die to the enemy team, so I can understand why he wouldn't have done that. And again, just punching into this Doctor Strange. Strange not going to be able to block a lot of this damage because it looks like it is melee damage, so he's going to take damage through that shield. And we did also switch to a second tank alongside things, so it'll be interesting to see, you know, how much pressure he's able to put in, knowing that he has a little bit of an extra helping hand right next to him. Getting a nice jump back to his team, using the cart as line of sight. And again, he's able to hit that Storm when she flies a little bit lower, so that's kind of cool, but looking for that opportunity to get some cleave on both the Doctor Strange and the Storm, and he's quickly farming ult here. Enemy Storm committing ult there. Invisible Woman going to be able to keep her team pretty safe. Storm ending up in a really, really bad position. And this is where they are down 2, so he's going to play a little bit more space. That Hawkeye not going to be able to take him out solo. Gets a good stun and forces the Luna ult preemptively to save those 3 people. They do also overlap Cloak and Dagger and Luna ult there. So that's going to be a pretty huge swing. Making sure they res their ally Hawkeye. Jumping in and try and block some of this damage. And he's just going to try and be a Live Lord on point as the Iron Fist cleans up the rest of the enemy team. Going to get this first point as overtime is already triggered. And that was a pretty chaotic fight, honestly. I mean, they played a lot of, forcing that Luna ult preemptively, and then also Cloak and Dagger. That lack of communication is going to be very, very detrimental in this level of gameplay. And that, I believe this gameplay does take place in one above all. So, going to be pretty high level people in this lobby. I don't recognize a lot of the names though, except for Among, yeah. And there we go. Getting taken out, taking a ton of damage. Again, when people just focus you on this character, it looks like you just tip over. So he might need to play a little bit better with that. Next to his tank, his Magneto is staying pretty far back from where I would ordinarily be. Committing the ult as the rest of his team dies, trying to be an absolute Live Lord here, but not going to be quite enough. But they do get a good amount of distance on that cart, so let's go into the final round and see what's shaken. Gotta respect staying on the thing as well day one. You know, you haven't had a whole lot of practice. I know some streamers and that content creators got some access to this guy yesterday, or the day before or whatever, but this is definitely a bold choice. If they would have lost this game, I think it's definitely an insta-blame the thing sort of angle. And he's playing very, very aggressive in the enemy spawn here, playing up with this Iron Fist, playing more close with the Iron Fist than the Magneto, looking to dive the characters a little bit more, get some pressure on this tank, make sure that he's backing up, as opposed to just staying right next to this mag. Gets a good knock up, and again, we are already at 60% ult charge. Staying on the point, they do have it capped, so it's not going to be gaining any ground. Only 12 seconds left, and this is going to be a very, very hard push for the enemy team. They do lose their Magneto, so they're just going to back up. They know that they've kept that cart busy for a long time already. So going to back up, reset. They are almost sitting on Invisible Woman ult, and no one on the enemy team is quite as close. So I have a little bit of an advantage early in this next fight, and they do just need one more ace to get the enemy team off of point. Iron Fist dropping super, super low there. And let's see what they're able to do. Gets on top of point. I think the knockup is going to be pretty huge here, but he is just getting absolutely demolished here. And the Invisible Woman ult does come out, so she's going to be able to keep her team alive. They end up getting two. Some good CC coming out on the Storm. And everyone's able to just focus the Doctor Strange. Mag able to get one more. And then Namor is going to pop his bubble, but he's going to fall shortly after. They played some really good space in that early game, keeping the enemy team in their spawn. And then they kind of transitioned that into a full reset, and then just knew that they need to get the enemy team off the point. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to think about this, because this is kind of the first time that I've really seen the thing played. He does get MVP, so that's kind of cool. We get to see this little MVP animation, and I'm interested to see what people can do with this character as the season kind of goes on. So as you can see here too, he does a ton of damage. Actually, he does 41k. Far ahead of pretty much anyone on his team, and he blocks a ridiculous amount as well, but we already knew that was going to be the case. This might be some of the highest block damage that I've actually seen in the game. So if there's anyone that you want me to spectate, any characters you want me to spectate, any maps you want me to spectate on, please let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel, and as always, I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye bye.